Hello, I got a new thing. Hello and welcome to the first edition of Godzilla Showcase. It is literally the type of videos I was doing before, but I decided to give it a fancier name now, and you can hear my voice because I exposed it in the Two Idiots and a Megalon videos. Yippee! And for our first edition of this new series, since I don't want to release figures over here, for whatever reason, we have another MonsterArts. This time it's the latest from SH MonsterArts. It is Anguirus from the 1972 Godzilla vs. Gigan. I have no idea how other YouTubers able to do this in one take. I really don't. I was going to have a wee joke here about this spinning 360, pressing the wrong button and then go 360, and then fixing it. But I messed it up every single time, so I'm not even going to bother anymore. Anyway, I'll give her a wee 360 of the figure. Let's turn on, there we go. Yay! Alright. Yay! And for more modern fans who are more into the Monsterverse and don't really know much about the old Toho stuff, I thought I'd give you a little bit of an insight into Anguirus. So, Anguirus' first appearance is in the 1955 Godzilla Raids Again, making him Godzilla's first ever opponent. This thing is scaring me, actually. But he just plays Godzilla's opponent, really. He fights Godzilla and dies at the end. There we go. Easy as that to say. Doesn't appear again until 1968. I actually had to look that up. I could not remember when Destroy All Monsters came out, but he appeared in Destroy All Monsters. Mostly a minor role, and then has a wee spat with Ghidorah at the end of the movie, along with all the other monsters. And a very famous scene. Doesn't appear again until 1972's Godzilla vs. Gigan, which is what this one is based on, actually. I mean, it could be also based on 68 because of how much stock footage is in that movie. But yeah. Then appears again in 1974's Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. He is the first thing that fights Mechagodzilla when he's under the Godzilla disguise. And completely misses the Heisei era. I am not even kidding. There's no appearance of him in the Heisei era. He doesn't appear again until 2004's Godzilla Final Wars. That was ages from... How long is that? Actually, nearly 30 or so years. That's mental to me. That is actually mental. And more recently, he's appeared in Singular Point. And that's really been Anguirus, honestly. He's appeared in other things, obviously. My favorite appearance of Anguirus, actually, was in a comic. If you want a thing of Anguirus in it to look at or look up, I'd recommend Godzilla Legends Issue 1, where he fights Destroya. That was actually a really good comic, honestly. Anyway, let's move on to something else now. Start this part by actually saying how weird I find it that only now is Anguirus getting an SH figure. Anguirus is surprisingly seen. This is my estimate. It's just outside that top 5. I've always sort of seen there being a top 5 monsters that are like in everything Godzilla. With Rodan, Mothra, Mechagodzilla, Ghidorah, and obviously Godzilla himself. I've always sort of seen him just outside that, honestly. I think most people do. He's always sort of seen as Godzilla's friend or sidekick or whatever, but he's only ever been in like a few movies and he's only just recently got an SH. But my god, is this SH really good. Honestly, this SH has really impressed me so far. Everything moves very, very well. His articulation is very, very good. Honestly, his hands are a wee bit weird, but they're more designed for him walking on all fours because that's what Anguirus does. The only problem I've had so far with the figure, honestly, is actually the mouth. Honestly, the mouth has come off for me, actually. Probably me just filling about a bit too much because it does look like his jaw's broken a little bit. I mean, if you can see that, yeah. It looks like Mechagodzilla got to him. Anyway, the tail's really nice. The back doesn't get in the way, which is great, honestly. This is a really, really nice figure, actually. I can't really say much bad about it, really. It looks like Anguirus. Looks quite like him, actually, from the movie. Yeah, this has really impressed me, honestly. I can't really put it into other words. The paint looks really nice. The sculpting looks really nice as well. It does look like the suit, honestly, if you look at that. This is really nice. I'm sorry, I'm kind of obsessed with him at the moment. Especially posing him. I can't get over how well he poses, honestly. Which I've never thought with Anguirus. Oh, he's going to be great for posing. I thought this figure wasn't going to be that great with the fucking back being the way it is. But the back moves really well. The back's actually like attached to this part right here, so it's more of like a shell. It's more like an accessory for the back, so it doesn't really hinder anything, honestly, which is really, really nice. Which makes me happy, because that means it's actually easy to pose him. And here's Anguirus alongside the other figures based on the movie. There's one more to come out, which is King Ghidorah. I'm looking forward to him coming out. I don't know when he's coming out, to be honest. I pre-ordered him and all. That's more money down the drain. I'm going to have to sell a spleen or something like that. Anyway, I feel like I should give my opinion, actually, on the movie. Godzilla vs. Gigan. Not particularly one of my favorites. In fact, actually, when I was younger, it was my least favorite Godzilla film. And I've only watched the film about 3 times throughout my life. I watched it when I first seen it, then I did a marathon of all the Godzilla movies, and I watched it obviously then. And then finally, literally only this week, because I wanted it fresh in my mind for this discussion and this showcase. It's the stock footage. The stock footage absolutely annoys me to no end. It's probably the worst for it, actually. Those movies got infamous for their use of stock footage. That one is really bad for it. Nearly the entirety of the Anguirus and Ghidorah section of the fight is just stock footage. And then they really rush it at the end. It's like Godzilla just goes, nah, I'd win, after getting beaten up, and he wins. There you go, that's how the movie ends. In saying that, though, the figures are really, really nice. These are some of my favorite SHs, in all honesty. I really like the Gigan, and I really like this Godzilla, and I really, really like this Anguirus. At the moment, I kind of do think I like Anguirus the most, honestly, out of the 3 of them. He's just impressed me with his articulation. Like, Gigan's articulation, he looks really nice, but the articulation's not as good. And I always worry about these bits, you know, it's because I've had them fall from the Final Wars Gigan. And the Godzilla's just a standard Godzilla, but this one in particular has really impressed me. I can't really think of another way to put it. The only thing I've noticed, though, is he does look quite big. And that's probably just the back. Now, obviously, looking forward, it's not as noticeable. I'm looking from above. I'm looking down at him, so he does look really, really big in comparison to the other 2. But, oh well, that doesn't matter. But yeah, these figures are really, really nice. If I actually could get a little display for this film with these figures in it, I honestly would. I mean, why I would be displaying Godzilla vs. Gigan and not, you know, any other Godzilla movie, I don't know, but it's because these are the figures they're giving me. God's sake. I've still never forgiven you for how annoying you were to fight in Unleashed. Anyway, to wrap this up, this is a really, really nice figure. Honestly, this has been an absolute treat to own. Now, it is a bit pricey, I won't lie. But to be fair, it's an SH, what I expect. They want my money. Not as expensive as Shimo. Nothing's as expensive as Shimo. And around about Scar King, I think. About 100 or so I paid to get him, but that was with shipping costs. Do I think that's worth it? I mean, no accessories, just the figure. But it's a figure of Anguirus. I mean, do I really understand the value of money? No, I don't. For me personally, I love this figure. I really do. The pricing doesn't really bother me or anything like that. But I imagine for some people it would. I don't necessarily think it is for the price that it was asking, at least of me. But since I don't value money in the slightest, I of course find it worth it. Where's he going? I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm genuinely running out of room in my collection. So he goes wherever he goes. If I find a spot for him, I'll show it at the end. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you for watching the first edition of Godzilla Showcase. I should have another one out, maybe at some point. I have another figure I kind of want to do, actually. And I'll do that whenever that happens. I should have a little bit of an update as well at that point on what is going to happen with the Two Idiots in a Megalon series. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you and goodbye.